I've ever seen, but I'm getting to know a few words already. Igen, sziasztok. Okay, good, good, good. All right. Well, my name is Dino Nadelko. This is my beautiful wife,
Hey.
Danny, here. We are so excited, happy to be here. You know, this is one of probably our favorite things to do and
Yes.
probably favorite trainings to be in. Not because of us, but because of you. And
Yeah.
because of like how many things we can do, learn. Today in the morning, Danny was just telling me, you know what, like if everybody would understand, if you can just leave this world a better place, how it was before you came to this world, right? And that's kind of like something that it's very very important for us to have in mind. And as every single month we do this leadership training for everybody to just be a little bit better, right? Sometimes we say if you're just 1% better every single day, that's about 365% better in a year,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's quite some percentage, right? How many of you, let me see that, how many of you would love to have 365% increase in your business every single year? How many of you would be like, wow, that would be like Kati is saying, yes, I'm ready. I am ready, right? 365. Imagine having a 365% growth of your business every single
Ooh.
year, but just growing 1% a day,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
And put this sometimes into the numbers, like, like just say, like, hey, you know what? Okay, 1%. So if yesterday, totally in our team, we did 100 points, 1% more. So that means today we just need to do 101 point.
Yep. That's right.
Like, think about that. Like, sometimes we feel like, oh, these percentages, these numbers are crazy, but it's not really that much. And specifically, being a part of network marketing, as you're going to hear today, these things are not crazy.
Yeah.
These things can be very real and very easy achievable. But there are some things that you're going to learn today that Danny has to share with you that are crucial, that are non-negotiable, that are the things that you cannot say, I'm going to do them sometimes next year
Mm-hmm.
for you to have success this year. It just doesn't work that way. So, as we are getting started today, first of all, everybody who is here, if you are ready to build your business to the next level, look into these members right now and see where are your people? Where are the people you want to build business with? Are they on that call? If they are not on this call right now, take another minute. Remind them. Send them a message. Tell them, hey, that's the first step. You're missing. You're missing out. Okay? Do that quickly. Why? Because, again, I learned that years ago. One of my mentors told me, he said, you know what? You can learn all the things in this world, but you're alone.
Yep.
You need to teach other people how to learn with you. You need to teach other people how to get the same value you're getting at the same time. Because this is what's called scaling. That's what's called, at the end of the day, creating passive income by teaching others what you get and what you know. Right? So it's very important. So, anyway, quickly, before we get into the topic of the day, I just want to quickly share a couple of things that are happening in New Hope Global Community. First of all, do we have anyone here on the call that just came out of nowhere, just for the first time? Someone send you a link, someone invites you right now, and you're just here for the first time. Please put number one in the comments. If you are the one that just came on this call right now and you're like, who are those people? Like, I don't know anyone. Like, just someone just invited me right now. I have no clue what's going on here, but I still took my time and jumped on.
Awesome.
Anyone? Anyone? Number one. Let's see if anyone is here for the first time. If not, that's completely okay. I just want to see if anyone is here for the first time because I would really like to give them a special welcome. Okay? All right. So the next thing that we need to discuss quickly is that this call is free for everybody. This call is available for everybody. So, take we have Alexander says we have new members. That's great. So anyone who is new and it's not ready to let us know yet, or is not ready to talk with us or communicate with us, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you're going to, at the end of the hour, you're gonna get more than you paid for, which I'm pretty sure you will, because there was no fee to it. However, you paid a lot with your dedication, with your time. And I will tell you that sometimes when you take an hour and really pay attention and dedicate this, it costs you much more than just financial transaction. And that's why I also want you to think about it that way. Okay, I did not pay anything for any kind of that kind of course or trainings, but you know what? If I use this and take these principles and be better, that might be an amazing thing for me, right? It's a great investment, investment of your time for you to be able to be better. Okay, quickly. So what are some of the things that are happening in eHope Global Community just for the next few minutes before we go into the topic? Just want to, first of all, let everybody know that during the night, that means literally a few hours ago, we have done a big update on our website. This is just first of many new updates that we are launching this year when it comes to optimizing, improving, always make things better, more accessible, and also easier to handle for our customers and for our community partners and team members. So we have done that, and I'm sure that on this part there's a lot of things that we can talk to. And we're gonna spend that time today for this, but just please follow announcements we have done. Go and check out the changes for yourself, and you can always feel free to let us know any feedbacks, anything that you have seen, and all those kind of stuff. All right. Aside of that, we are doing a lot of progress in many different countries around the world, which we are so excited for. I'm sure that you heard about some things as well. We are working in like some of the countries like Serbia and Macedonia to get even more different products in this country, like UGlow and Vita C powder is in the registration process in those countries, for example. Then we have gotten like the products like UGlow, Vita C powder, and some other things also here in the US, so they are available on that market as well. Then we also have a very exciting market coming up, which is Nigeria. Do we have anyone from Nigeria here as well? Let's see quickly. While we are talking through, do me one favor. Please put down the country that you're connecting from, just quickly before we go, so we can see how international we are today, and then we're gonna move to the topic of the day. So everybody, just put down your country in the chat. Let's see who we have here. All right. And yes, we have some exciting things coming up. We are creating our first local-based product for Nigeria as well. So also, there's the reason why I'm mentioning all those things, because everybody who is listening, I want you to understand a global vision. I want you to understand how worldwide business this can be for you and anyone who is ready to build this business. You see what I'm saying? You don't need to be limited to your city, to your state, to your country, to your continent. Like anything we build as a company, it's yours.
Yes.
So anything that is available, it is available for you to be able to say, hey, you know what? Like, here's the thing. You can say, hey, you know what? I just opened my business in the US. And people are going to be like, wait, how did you open up your business in the US? Well, because I have a partner that can do all those kind of things. All right. So welcome everybody once again. Ukraine, Croatia, Hungary, Macedonia, Serbia, Romania, Slovenia, Italy, Nigeria. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at all those countries. All right. Are you guys ready to to really get some good information today. I would tell you, please take some notes, write it down, because you might not feel right now that you need it, but sometimes you might need it in the future, even if you don't need it right now. It's a very, very important topic that we're going to discuss today. Belgium here as well. Welcome everybody who is joining in. And put number 5 in the comments if you're ready. I'm ready. Danny, are you ready to get started?
I am ready.
All
I'm
right,
ready.
so let's go. I'll pass my word over to the brain of this training today, to the person that is going to give you, I would say, a huge thing when it comes to what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So
Thank you, Dino. That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: is one of the biggest blessings to work with your best friend, your partner, and a person that is, on your same level. So, guys, if you are single, really pick well, because that makes you or breaks you. And I am very blessed. Thank you.
man, you guys even got the marriage advice right now.
Anyways, so I'm gonna go really quick because today this training is gonna be divided in 2 parts. I want to deliver to you in a compressed way. I'm not going to babble. I promise you that every single minute that you're going to get is not gonna be like and or just filling some random story. No, I wanna give you the dough of the training. And we're gonna be listening to the second part, which I think is the most important one, that you really need to pay attention, because I want to give you some tools, a story, a couple of stories, but you need to stay in for the rest of the call, because the second part is going to be the application. You're going to get to see, and hear how you can actually do everything that we're going to be teaching you. So bear with us for the next 40 minutes or less. I'm going to promise you, and I promise my translators that we're going to be on time. So anyways, today, the topic of the training, you could even just call it character and speed. If you want to call it anyway, character and speed. This is one of the things, or 2 things, that can build a business to the top and can get it sustained, because you can build with speed. How many times do we see a lot of people starting a brand new company and boom, 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 fast speed, but they also have a fast speed for crashing. But whenever you have character and you learn how to build with integrity, then this thing will not only go fast, but it will last for a long time. Now, I want to tell you that I got inspired by 2 individuals. I've been thinking, some of the stories, I remember some of the stories of my, early days when I was, 9 years old. I started going to, and I want you to tell me here in the chat, how many of you know the Boys and Girls Scouts? Just type it in the chat. Type number 1 if you know what I'm talking about. Those guys that have like, a little, I don't know. Yeah, well, you guys know it. When I was 9, I started going to a group in Mexico. And I was just remembering, why do I know this piece of information? And then I started remembering the books we read from this individual. You need to write it down. His name is Robert Baden-Powell. And this guy is, the founder of the Boys and Girl Scouts. And let me see, I don't know why I have this thing all messed up. Okay, I hope, okay, no, perfect. There we go. Why? My apologies. I'm trying to pull. Okay, there we go. Write this down and go and ChatGPT the guy. Find his books. If you have a way to read one of them, they're amazing. I remember when I was little, when I was 9 years old, all the way up until I was like 17. That's how long it took me to be in this. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going to this place because we were outside. We learned about camping, survival skills. I went into trips by myself. I'm gonna tell you some crazy things. Nowadays, it's not so easy, especially for girls, because it's very dangerous. We live in a dangerous world. But we got to a point when I was like 10, 12 years old, we were asking for rides. This was one of our assignments to go from place A to place B in our state and then camping in a random place. And then we needed to take pictures of actually what we were doing, survival, leadership. It was really, really great. So, with that said, Baden-Powell built people through discipline and responsibility. And there's another individual I'm gonna talk about as well, which after this short little micro training about BP, we call him BP, but Baden-Powell, show me, that discipline, because like people tell me, you're the military mom, and I'm like, well, why am I like this? And then I understood that I even took military training. If I, I don't know if I ever said this story about myself, but the first part, that I want to teach on is responsibility, integrity, daily duty, and service. This is what we learned when we were in this group. Now, in network marketing, you don't have to disappear when things are uncomfortable. Take these notes. There's 3 points actually. Don't disappear. Number one. Number two, don't blame the company, market, or upline or anybody else or other companies for stealing your customers. Number three, show up even when nobody is clapping. This is the very, very first crucial part of this training. Because when I learned responsibility, and I'm going to point it out here, responsibility, integrity, daily duty, and service. In our group, nobody was allowed to whine or complain. As soon as you were complaining, and as soon as you were like saying to your leader, oh, I don't want to do this, they put you to do the task that you were complaining plus other 5 tasks. So, and it was fun, for people will be like, why did you stay there? Well, I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, it was something that I learned. I learned many things. I belong to a place, to a community. I learned how to do things on my own when I was very little. And eventually that's why I became an entrepreneur, because I was self-sufficient, and I didn't realize it until just a few weeks back that I was thinking, hey, why wasn't I scared to start a business? Well, if you are 12 years old, and I just imagine Danny with the uniform, with my bandana and everything, my insignias. I have my bordon, like my stick that I went through the woods, and I was walking. I have my boots, and I will go anywhere without cash, just with my water and with my friends, and we will go anywhere. To from one mountain to another one. We will take rides. We will do service for people, because we also help communities whenever there was a disaster, or like a big snowstorm. I remember on our big snowstorm back then, on the day, like 10 years ago, no, 20 years ago actually, we were able to help people who were in a really bad spot. Like, we were helping alongside the soldiers. So it was really cool. I was 12, I was 13, and that's why, whenever you're early on in life, you learn how to do those things, then you're not afraid. Now, you don't have to go to military training or to the scouts to do that. You can actually get to do the things by learning from other people. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing. The scout rule number 1 that they taught us is the following. You're responsible for your results. If something goes wrong, you are responsible. And you took responsibility for it, you own it, and you didn't whine and complain. Because we had one thing, that it was no victim mindset, no waiting for things, and no excuses. We were in charge sometimes, just listen to this, to find ways to put a fence around our tents. I was 10 years old. Like, imagine a 10-year-old just putting a fence around a campground. This is what you need to picture. You can do things. If a 10-year-old can do these things, network marketing is freaking easy. Now, speed beats perfection. Now that this is with the scouts training. Now go and look for this guy. His name is Baden-Powell, BP. Learn his principles. If you have a means and ways, to get a book, read one. You're gonna learn how to be a good individual, how to leave this world better than how you found it. Like even when I go to a restaurant, we make sure that we pick up all of our stuff. If we put some crumbles, even in a nice restaurant, and we make sure that we leave everything nice. That those are principles that you need to teach people in your home and also in your organizations. Now, going back to the second part, and I think I did good, right? Am I on time? Yes, I'm on time. Okay. So now we're gonna talk about the speed factor, right? We talk about character. I learned character through these teachings in the scouts. Go and read about this guy, BP. He's amazing. You're gonna learn how to actually see how people think and what they're needing, how you're gonna learn personalities from this guy. That's where I learned it from. Now, going to the speed factor, I want you guys to go and just look this guy. His name is Jimmy John. Jimmy John Lutoth. And he's an American man. He is a billionaire, and not only is he billionaire, but he is one of the icons in our culture in the United States on how you can start doing things without having everything perfect. So if you think that in network marketing you need, I need my company and I need an accountant and I need to have, I need to know everything about the products. I need to go ask Dino how they were designed and what ingredients and about, the registrations and about this, about that. And I need to know everything in the website and I need to have my own website and I need to have my funnels and my links. I'm gonna tell you one thing, you're gonna be broke. Just without giving you a lack of respect, that's not how you do it. You can do those things alongside when you're building your business, but you need to grab a hold of this principle, which is, you need to be freaking fast. This guy, the founder of Jimmy John's sandwiches, you need to go and Google it, ChatGPT it, Grok it, whatever.
It's the same thing, like almost Subway per se.
Yes, it's like Subway, but it's like, at another level. This guy scaled up in a way that he beat up like Subway, Starbucks, many, many companies here in the US. Now, what is his concept? Did he have a great food? I'm gonna tell you one thing. Whenever we go to Jimmy John's, it's because we want something fast, but not because it's the most delicious. It's good, it's not as healthy, but it's really good and fast. Do they have a really great product? Of course. But his concept was not a gourmet food, no fancy menus, and no long training. He was a son of a military family. He was, living with his parents, his brothers, and everybody, after they graduated from high school, they went to the military. Here in the US, there's a lot of people in the military, and it's not necessarily a good or a bad thing, but you know that you're not going to see your family members for a long time, probably 1 2 years. You're going to be in the military and you're going to be there, and it's going to be hard for you to have a family interaction. So he didn't want to go to the military, first of all. And his dad told him, you need to go to the military because there's nothing else to do. He wanted to do a business. He wanted to open a restaurant. And his dad was like, what? A what? A restaurant? So he grew up in poverty, if you want to call it that way. There's a lot of people here in the US, if you don't realize it, you think that people are rich. Yeah, they're rich poor, and why? Because everything is expensive here. So he was saying that he grew up in his home, even though his family was being paid by the military, they had a job, they had things, but they didn't have enough money. And he was drinking milk powder. They were putting the powder of the milk in the water, and this is what he drank his entire life. And he told us, not told us, but he on this training that I was listening from him, he was saying that the reason why he became so successful is because he hated powdered milk. What do you hate about your life? What do you hate? I mean, I'm asking you, just type it here in the comments. I hate looking at the menu when I go to a nice restaurant. I don't like it. I don't know about you. Just type here what you hate. I hate, back in the day when I had an old car, I hated my old Grand Marquis. I hated it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was driving it to go straight. I had to turn the wheel a little bit, to the left so the car will go straight. It was a broken down car I was driving. I promise you that I wanted to take a gun at some point and just in the parking lot, just gun the freaking car off. That's how bad I hated him. And so, what do you hate in your life? I want to ask you, type it here in the chat. You don't want to type it, that's fine, but think about it. What do you hate? Because sometimes we're motivated by inspiration and also by desperation. So sometimes you need to become so desperate to be successful. And this is how this guy was. Now, you don't have to get there. The beautiful part is that you can learn from these stories and these trainings and go and apply it. The very sad truth that it's so easy to listen to these trainings, Rino. So easy to listen to other people's success stories, but it's so freaking easy not to do it. So freaking easy not to apply the things because it's not going to cost you anything. That's why whenever a person is learning by inspiration, it is the toughest of everything because you don't have anything to lose. You have light, you have heating, you have food, you have your coffee, you have your beautiful makeup, you have your nice stuff. Even if it's not the fanciest and if it's not the designer stuff, but you're okay. But that is the most dangerous place because if you're not led by a need, you're gonna be broke. Now, going to the final part, he was a genius in the sense that he made everything simple and he stuck to systems. He was, on his story, he showed us how he learned how to make bread because he knew he was counting everything. His dad gave him a loan and he told him, if you're not successful, you're going to the military. And that's not an option. So he was like making sure he was going to be successful. So he had good accounting. He had good, he was seeing where he could find the bread, where he could find the mayonnaise. And eventually he learned how to do his stuff on his own. And so he developed systems and he started doing things fast, fast, fast. The people he hired, some of his friends, they quit because they were too lazy. And he has this simple truth. If you're fast, you win. If you're slow, you lose. And there was one thing that I learned from his story. There was a point where he started being so successful that people asked him, "Hey, can you franchise your sandwiches?" And he was like, "Well, I don't know." You know what he did? He hired a professional. You guys have it very, very easily. You guys have a professional right here. A professional. He is a professional in network marketing. He is in the Hall of Fame. And honestly, if you don't apply the information you learn every single month, shame on you. He's still making bank. He's still, going to the top. And the people that are following his advice, and also those who are applying the things. That's what I want to tell you today. When you overthink things, when you overtrain, when you overweight, when you, oh, I'll start, sharing my link whenever I finish this. I'll start sharing my link whenever I have this perfect. Bro, you're broke. Bro or sister, you're broke. You need to go to work. Now, I'm going to leave you with this because I want Dino to really deliver what he has. I love this thing about these two guys. What I love is that you need to be fast and you need to have character. You need to have the leadership of not quitting when everything goes kaboom, when everything goes to the trash or your team goes and works for another company or they just, they're so okay with 500 euros that, I'm not going to go to the training. I'm just going to retail the product. Everything will be like that. Yes, but you need to constantly rebuild, 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 have good character, treat people right, rebuild, rebuild, rebuild. And one last part I'm going to tell you. There is one thing that he gave a piece of advice to people who are entrepreneurs, and this is for us in network marketing. When you find the right people, you will not have to drive, flight, and go straight every single time to see the people in your team. He learned this the hard way. And you need to make sure that when you are selecting those who you want to work with, you don't just throw everything out there and be like, do you want to work with me? Please work with me. Please come and work with NH Global. We have something amazing. No, you need to make it very hard for them to even consider joining. Are you crazy? Yes, because if you don't have the right individual, whenever you open a market in Asia and you are in Europe sitting in your couch and, your team collapses, I mean, I don't think that you have 2 or 3 grand laying around, 2 or 3 thousand euros laying around to go every 2, 3 months to visit your team. You don't. So, piece of advice, select the people you want to work with. Be very, very specific and go fast. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow, that's really, really important what we just heard from Danny, and thank you so much for that. And just everybody who is, some of you I see that are just tuning in, so welcome everybody who is coming on. I hope that this is giving a lot of ideas to everybody, and we're gonna like finish up this call over the next 20 minutes or so with a story, because we have heard a lot of great stuff, a lot of great things, but the thing is that everything what we heard today, and I hope you guys took some notes, I hope you got some ideas, inspiration, or even like what we sometimes say aha moment, to say like, the reason why my business is not going that fast is because I don't have the right people, or the reason why my business is not going that good is because I'm too slow. You see, I will just share a couple of things here. First of all, recruiting people into your business as partners or potential partners or customers can be done in different ways, but not all the ways are actually going to bring you more and more success. Let me put this into a simple perspective. Some people can get 5 customers every single week, but that doesn't mean they're actually going to build a big business. I want you to listen very good right now, okay? I will be slow. I hope that, that's going to help also our translators. But let's go back again. Some people can bring 5 customers every single week into their business, but they are not really going to develop a big business. Let's think about that for a second. And let's kind of like rethink. So why wouldn't that build their business if they're bringing 5 customers every single week? Pay attention to the semantics of what I'm saying. Because they're only bringing customers. And if they're only bringing customers, which is essential, but customers by itself are not the only thing that is going to build this business. It's going to bring you a good income. It's going to bring you 2, 3, maybe even 5,000 euros a month. If that's what you're limiting yourself for, that's perfect. That's great. But why is that not going to build their business big and unlimited? Because they have limited themselves only to customers. On the other side, you can have someone who says, hey, you know what? I just brought 2 potential partners this week, and then another 2 next month, another 3 month after that, 1 after 6 months. But my business is not really moving. Remember the Jimmy Jones principle. Speed.
Mm-hmm.
What would have happened if you would bring these 10 partners in a matter of 1 week, take them all together and say, we are a new class of entrepreneurs. We are a new group that is going to start working together from scratch. Everybody is going to go fast with speed. Because speed also creates a sense of urgency, and at the end of the day also gives you responsibility. You cannot hide from being fast. You can hide from being slow, because every time when your mentor is going to ask you, hey, Danny, how are you doing with your business? Oh yeah, I'm doing pretty well. It's fine. Just 2 weeks ago, I got a partner, and I'm working on another one. Okay, so when do you expect the next one? Oh, maybe in a week or two. Depends. Like, everybody is busy. That's the perfect example of not having speed in your business, right? So you need to remove all distractions. You need to forget about everything what you don't know, and just be a clear focus on what you want to do. And if your clear focus is, I want to get as many customers as possible, I want to get as many team members as possible, that's it. That's it, end of the story. That's just how you build your business. No, with that, I want to take you back. I want to take you back to 2014. Okay? Why I'm saying all those things? Because I want to share with you a story on how I got started in this profession, why I got started in this profession, and then we're gonna fast forward to today. Some of you heard it. Some of you, I would say most of you heard like parts of the story, because I always like to share it just to maybe help someone to say, hey, that's it, that's my click, that's what I need to do. But the reason why I want to share it is because you are going to actually learn all those small little principles through the hard days, the easy days, the hard times, a little bit, less hard times, like amazing times, all those kind of stuff. Okay, so I want you to just kind of like leave everything. If you've been doing anything so far, just take the next less than 20 minutes and listen to what can be your next success story, to what can be something that you can do, but instead of maybe, taking 5 years together, it might just be 2 years or 3 years. Why? Because I'm going to give you some of the shortcuts. That's what mentors are for. That's what trainers are for. That's what people who are sharing wisdom are for. That we can accelerate our success, that we can decrease the time that takes us to get there. Right? That's the most important part. No, let's go back to 2014. I was back then 26 years old. If you ask me today, I was old. Why? Because most of the young people today, I'm so happy when I talk to them and they are already by the age of 14, 15, not just looking for job. Like, I had a job by the age of 15. That's not a problem. I was always a working class person. I have no problems working. I had problems kind of like wasting time because I always wanted to do something, but I had no problems working. Okay, so, but today I'm so happy when I see young people like by the age 14, 15, I want to start my own business. That's great. And not that I did not try back then, but at some point, I always quit. You know this feeling? You start a business, you kind of like see the potential, you do something, and then at some point you got uninterested. That's what I call it. And then you kind of like fade away and you quit. And then another shiny object comes up. Oh, that's going to be the one. And then after some time, you become uninterested again. And then, oh, not this one, next one. But you know what? Your first business could be already off the ground, could be already big, could be already successful if you would just stick with it and not become uninterested. Now, here's the thing. 2014, I was having a job. I was working in a car parts store. I finished my college degree in computer science. Never really wanted to do computer science because programming was the most boring thing I could ever see in my life back then. But, how many of you were taught by your parents that you just need to finish your school no matter what? Like that's not negotiable. It's like you have to finish your school and you have to get a job. Anyone? Put number 3 in the comments if you've been taught by your parents or whoever you've been grew up, like, these are the non-negotiable things. You can't even play sports if you're not good in school.
Alexander.
Right? That's just what it is. Like, I'm sure that many of us, we are familiar with that. And that's what I did. I didn't know why to go to college, but I went because my mom told me I need to go. Okay, what are you going to study for? Let me just do computers because that's kind of like interesting. But when I got to the college, I'm like, no, programming. I don't want to do that. Okay, anyway, so back in 2014, and just about a year or two before this 2014, about 2012, 2013, I was starting to really think to start my own business. And I was about to own a franchise called Subway. Some of you heard it. Some of you heard about Subway. And I was really looking into it to actually own a Subway. The principle of franchise was very interesting to me. You know why? Because I always felt that I don't want to do things from scratch. I don't want to like be innovator. I don't want to be like just doing something that no one has done before. I just give me the recipe. Let me build it together. Let me run. Right? So when I learned the principle of franchise, I was like, okay. And then Subway tells you like, this is our book, like a rule, like a manual. It's like 300 plus pages where it tells you everything and anything, like how to run the business, why to have this business, all those kind of stuff, right? I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then when they tell you like, hey, this is our statistics, they have like over 90 or 95% success ratio when someone start that business because of the support, the systems, mentoring, leadership. I'm like, that's really good, right? And I'm like, this is the business to go. I want to do that. But back then, like the finances were the problem because I would need around 250 to 300,000 euros for me to be able to launch this. You need to pay a franchise fee that was back then around 80,000 euros. You need to have a place which needs to be like specific years that you need to kind of have lease agreement. Then you need to, of course, find employees. You need to furnish everything, like buy all the stuff, then ingredients, everything before you can say, I'm open, right? So investment back then was like kind of like holding me back. Not that I didn't like to take risk, but just because I just didn't have that money back then. And I also didn't have any possibility to just kind of like get that money. Anyway, 2014, one of my friends, this was in May 2014, he called me and said, hey, what are you doing tomorrow evening? I'm like, nothing specifically. He said, let's go for a coffee. Let's meet in like about 30 minutes away from my hometown. I'm like, yeah, sure, that's fine, no problem. I come there, it was outside. I remember like yesterday, it was outside on like one coffee shop. We sat down and ordered my coffee. He's like, well, you know what? Like in a few minutes, we're gonna leave. I'm like, how do you mean? We just kind of like came a few minutes ago. He's like, well, I wanted you to come with me to see something. Okay. How many of you would trust a friend? Everybody probably, right? Like, yes, okay, fine, So he said, let's go. And then we entered like a nutritional shop. Like it was like, I've never been to any of those stores, to be honest. Like you know, I lived my own way, like kind of like, but I never been like a user of like, you know, using all these the protein shakes or whatever, like to that point. So for me, it was very new. We entered in, but that was not the point. He said, let's go in here. It was like kind of like doors behind it. And then there was like a small, like a meeting room, like a table and like 6 chairs. He's like, sit down here. Okay. We sat down there to kind of like make this a little bit faster. Uh, there were two crazy guys came. I still call them crazy guys today. And they started to do the presentation. We have this company coming from the US. Back then, the principle was we are selling a healthy chocolate. Okay, so it's a health and wellness chocolate infused with like vitamins, this. I'm like, bro, where did you bring me right now? Like, I didn't even ask for it. It's like you said, okay, but I'm like, you know, I was like, good citizen, right? I was just listening, not saying anything. So anyway, so I listened to that, and you know, they explain these products, this is this, and I'm like, that sounds interesting, right? Like, I mean, you know, selling, and because they had like this kind of like, you know, the words, who do you know that does not love chocolate? I'm like, well, I think everybody loves chocolate. So, you know, immediately principle was for me like, I mean, yeah, bro, everybody likes chocolate. So, you know, and then there was like, why wouldn't they replace a normal chocolate with a healthy chocolate? I'm like, okay, that makes sense, you know. But then they came to the business part. They said there's a business behind it. You know what? You can actually make money by selling this chocolate. I'm like, okay. So anyway, they explained everything. And then they, you know, they start like, you know, we have that many ways to get paid. You know, you get a new customer directly. That's how much you get paid. You sell this pack, you get, you know, this. I'm like, okay. And then they said one thing. They said, and there is something called a team bonus, which means you can actually get your customers and your partners, but if you help others, if you teach them, if your team grows, you still get paid to unlimited level. And this is when the first time I said, wait. I said, wait, can I ask a question? He's like, yes. I said, did you just say that you can get paid to unlimited level to anyone around the world by building this business? He said, yes. I said, I want you to go and check with whoever you work with because I don't believe this is true. He said, no, I don't need to go and check anywhere. That's how it is. Like, you can build your team, you can build your business anywhere, and you can get paid. I'm like, if this is the case, continue. But if this is the case, and if I do my own research, and if I understand this is the case, you are going to hear about me. That's exactly what I said. So we finished this presentation. The guy was like, all right, so you look, we have packages, 600 euros, 1,300 euros, 2,500 euros. Which one are you taking? I'm like, no one. He's like, but you just said that you're going to do this. I said, I'm going to do my own investigation. I'm going to figure out if what you're saying is true. I need to do my own due diligence. And then if yes, I'm going to come back. Yeah. That's everybody says nobody's going coming back. I said, fine. Have a good day. I left. I went home. My uncle Google. I said, this. I researched and it came up network marketing. Wait, what? Network marketing. And then I started to learn a little bit. I'm like, this is better than franchise. This is actually the best model you can be as of right now. I learned the principle of network marketing. And I said, I will do my best to make it happen. Now, fast forward. 2 days after that, I came back and the guy was there. He's like, you're back. I said, I'm a man of the word. I told you, if it's going to make sense, I'm going to come back. He said, oh, there's not many people like that. I said, well, whatever I say. Even if I would, you know, if I wouldn't be interested, I wouldn't come, as I told you. But if I tell you that's going to make sense, I'm going to come back. Anyway, I took my 1,000, whatever, 300 something package back then, and I started to build my business quickly. But here's the thing. What they taught me. Speed. And speed, what I learned by that presentation, there was 4 or 5 of us inside that room, and everybody was just seeing what speed does. Just speed. And you know what they said? Don't worry about anything. Just keep inviting people to have a coffee with you. Bring them in here. We're going to do our stuff. We go forward. I did that. I sponsored 25 personally in the first 30 days into my business, where the minimum package to join as a partner, not as a customer. Back then, those guys didn't know what customers means. They didn't want customers. They said customers are not for us. We're building business.
That's how we need to be.
Okay. So anyway, we got that. I got 25 people personally in my business. Between it was a funny story also, because there was 4 packages to get started, but the 4th one, they never mentioned it to me until we got to the first month. I never knew it. Like, I was always just offering 600, 1,300, and 2,500. And then I learned, like, after some time, like almost a month, there's another package for 250. And I told them, what is that? They said, oh, no, don't forget about it. Like, we don't talk about this one. I said, why not? They said, because money is too small. I said, how do you mean? Well, they said, because people who take this one, they quit fast.
Wow.
Okay.
That's powerful.
All right. So then we don't talk about it. All right, let's go for it. So anyway, I sponsored 25 people. But here's the thing. Speed. Back then, I didn't know anything about the business. Only thing what I followed strictly is bring people here, set them down, we're going to do the stuff, then they are going to make their own decisions. And that's how I sponsored 25 people. And usually their package was 1,300. And the reason why, that's what they told me in the beginning. They said, whatever package you're going to enter in, that's what most people are going to do the same, because they're going to ask you, Dino, which package did you take? Mm-hmm. And if I would say 600, they would be like, oh, then I'm also going to do 600, because he doesn't have much belief. Mm-hmm. So that's how everything duplicates, guys.
Yes.
Your attitude duplicates. The way you see the things duplicates. Your vision, your belief, everything duplicates. Okay? So we've done that. 25 new people. I was one of those few back in Slovenia that qualified for an event that was next month in July in Rome. And back then you needed to achieve silver, whatever, like the ranks were like, and the points, and I did it. And I went to Rome with this same friend that invited me, that was my sponsor. We went to Rome. And the owner of that company was the person that owns Fruit of the Loom. Anyone heard about Fruit of the Loom, like the shirts and the collection? He was the owner of that company. And I met him in Rome. He was there for a couple of minutes, came and say hi. After that, anyway, in about 6 months, company went out of Europe. And eventually later on, they even like closed on their doors. But this was my first experience. And back then, you know what? I learned, that's it. No, quickly forward. So I did all these things. I had people, they had products, they were selling the products, all those kind of stuff. And then imagine, company is gone. Leaders that you've been working with are gone, right? And then I joined another company because I wanted to do the network marketing, because I knew this is the thing. I joined another company, been doing the things, going back to the same people, trying to help them to recover their money and all those kind of stuff, because they still had they couldn't really develop the business because the business was gone, right? So been doing that. After 3 months, company collapsed again. I'm like, Dino, I have to do better. It's like, you know how it is, like when it's not your fault, really. You're trying to do it, but then you can't, because in that stops you. So I learned one thing. I learned that as long as I can have a stable company, it's just up to me to make it happen. Right? So then after that, I got to a company in 2015 that was stable. And the sponsor that was in this company, I met in Rome back then. I want you to understand how this all works when you are really committed to build this business. So anyway, why did I take so much time to really like just share with you the start of it? I'm not gonna go through entire years. I'm just going to kind of like give you a little bit of like understanding and numbers for you to understand like how this works. But after that, 2015, once I found a company that was stable, I did my own due diligence. Back then, I said, you know what? I said, I told to my sponsor, I said, I'm not going to join the company, any company anymore until I can actually see that it's real. And he was like, you know what, you're lucky because I see something in you. And he invited me to see the company's, like operations and all those kind of stuff. And then I said, like, okay, there's tangible thing. It's real. And I said, no one can stop me as long as I have the real company. No, question for everybody. Do you see or do you feel or do you believe that you have a real company you can work with? Yes and no. There are just only two options. Don't say maybe. Don't say I don't know. Say either yes or no. To yourself, you can put it in chat if you want, but more than that, say to yourself, do I have a stable company that I can believe with that they're going to be here 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 1 year from now? Yes or no? If your answer is yes, you can keep looking for any companies you want, but that's not going to change the fact that it's not a company anymore. That is up to you to either make it happen or not make it happen.
True.
You see what I'm saying? There is no anything else. There's no anything else. It's then up to you to say, I'm going to not keep starting over every few months, every few years. Let me just double down. Let me just keep building. Keep building. Okay? So, quickly, 2 minutes and we are done. Here's the thing. After this 2015, I had my 100% belief. I just went in and just keep building, keep learning, keep creating systems, keep seeing what you can do to get better, keep attending different seminars, events to improve yourself, to be better, to any kind of calls, to any kind of present, anywhere I could be to stick my nose in and listen. I was there because I wanted to fast forward the success. And through that, in about 5 years, from 2015 to 2020, along with all our great team members, we have built 98,000 members team all around the world, in over 40 different countries around the world. And the beautiful part, it was just the beginning. Like, I always felt we haven't even started. Everything to back then of 2014, if you remember, to the guy saying you can get paid to unlimited levels on this business. Everything because of that. Because of this one small little seed that was planted in my mind that you can get paid to unlimited level. But yet, most of the people are behaving today in this network marketing industry like they're limited, like that they don't have anything, that that it's always up to other people or to whatever. It's not working. Guys, it's time to stop playing small. It's time to stop thinking limited. It's like, I will tell you one thing. Get freaking successful in building your network marketing business and then start doing other things, investments, start doing whatever else. But you need to have a huge cash cow, we say it sometimes. You need to have a huge income coming in all the time and stop playing small like, oh, 500 euros are going to be enough. No one of you, if someone tells you're going to get 10,000 amount or 100,000 amount, is going to say, no, I'm not going to take it because I'm satisfied with 500 amount. No one. I can guarantee you. That's why you're here today.
Yes.
So it's time to apply those principles. I will just say one more thing and we are done. What Danny spoke today, get straight to what I talked to you. I applied speed.
Yep.
I would be working day and night. Day and night. Why? Because it's speed. Like I was having on this first month, 2014, I had every 2 hours blocks of meeting, 4 people, every 2 hours. Keep inviting, keep getting them there, keep getting them into the business. That was the speed. And everybody, the speed was contagious. Everybody's like, Dino is running. I'm going to be running. Everybody was running. That's where you need to go if you want to build business strong, fast, and create momentum. And then on the other side, the reason why this happened is because I had a character. I said, I'm not going to quit until I succeed. You see what I'm saying? Those 2 very important parts. So I know we can talk for hours, but I really wanted to let you with that. I wanted you to just kind of like have a snippet and say, hey, you know what? We have everything what we need.
Yep.
And we are playing so small. We are thinking so small. Every hour, every day that passes by of us not like taking this as the business, as the opportunity, it's wasted. And I'm telling you, if you apply it, it's going to make a big difference. And again, even if your team right now, it's not doing like what you expect them to do, it's not up to them. It's up to you. It's up to you to make it better. It's up to you to, first of all, create it, to create this excitement, to create this belief, and to have people do more than they are even sometimes thinking that they can do. All right? So we are excited. We love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Simona. Thank you, Blanca, for your translations as well. And everybody else who's been helping us on this call. We hope that this is going to just be a great start for everybody. And to say like, hey, you know what? It's finally time to start playing big. It's not enough time anymore to just be playing small. Let's just make big things happen. Thank you so much. This was our leadership training, February 2026. And we'll see you again for this training next month, first Wednesday of the month.
I just mention one thing. You can invite anybody to these calls, prospects, family members, kids, everybody's going to get a message that they can apply not only in business. So we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Bye.